Here at Jacobson Family Farms, you'll find happy, pasture-raised cows. Our quality beef is farm-fresh, humanely raised, and FACTA animal welfare approved. Through sustainable agriculture, we will bring generations of experience to your table. What if I told you that this could be the Jacobson Family Farm? 86% of shoppers said that they purchased food with labels like cage-free, humane, free-range, grass-fed, and natural, and farm-raised in the past year, mostly because they thought the label indicated high animal welfare. And many of them are willing to pay more for higher welfare products in general. However, many animal product labels have nothing to do with animal welfare, or are misleading or outright lies. For example, it is standard practice that meat chickens aren't kept in cages, and chickens that produce free-range eggs just have to be allowed outside at some point in their lives, not continuously. In the case of Jacobson Family Farms, all except 2 of the labels I use require certification. Pasture-raised cows only have to spend a non-specified amount of time in pasture. They could just be born on one and then carted off to a feedlot. Farm fresh and sustainable agriculture have no specifications or regulations whatsoever. Humanely raised means that the farm just has to meet the standards that it sets itself, and sometimes this isn't even verified. And FACTA approval is a paid-for audit in which companies either just have to follow their own animal welfare standards that they set, or follow standard industry practice, which is factory farming. Basically, a lot of labels are vague and poorly defined, and a lot of them are just paid for. But what if Jacobson Family Farms was making true claims? In fact, they're your next-door neighbors, and you see the cows grazing in green fields right outside your window. Calves cavort beside their mothers, and all of them seem happy while adding beauty to the landscape. Isn't eating local, humane, free-range products the kindest option? Unfortunately, many grass-fed cows still go to the same slaughterhouses as factory farm cows, enduring the same fear and suffering that is general practice. Also, buying local animal products doesn't really make a difference in the environmental front. By substituting less than 1 day per week of calories from beef and dairy to a plant-based alternative, you can reduce your emissions more than buying all your food locally. And transport consists of less than 1% of beef's greenhouse gas emissions. Let's say America's whole food system switched to free range. Currently, 98% of all domestic animals in the U.S. are factory farmed, but nearly a third of America's land is used for livestock. The U.S. is home to around 95 million cows, and shifting just cattle to a grass-fed life would require 250 million additional acres of land. That's the area of Montana, California, and Utah combined. Even if everyone ate as Americans do, with 98% of animal products coming from factory farms, it would take 1.37 Earths to feed everyone. So it seems like we can conclude that free range doesn't mean free of environmental impacts. But what about fruit shipped across oceans out of season? Aren't those even worse than free-range meat? Local plant foods are tangibly better than imported plant foods, but it also depends on where you live and the season. For example, if you live in Sweden and buy local tomatoes in the winter, it takes 10 times more energy than buying imported tomatoes. While ship-freighted plant foods are pretty efficient, some plant foods are often air-freighted. Commonly air-freighted foods include asparagus, green bean, and berries. If you instead buy these commonly air-freighted foods from ship-freighted sources, this entails a 50-fold reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. So just eating local and ship-freighted plant foods is much better than buying animal products from your local farmer. Factory farming is unethical and wrecks the environment. And buying local free-range animal products still entails cruel practices while taking up more land and not really reducing your footprint. It seems like you just can't win. But there's a simple solution to this dilemma. Just eat plants.